Hey guys, so I showed you a little catching some trophy catfish, and today I'm going to kind of give a rundown on what I look for and what I do once I get to the spot that I'm fishing. So fresh bait's the best bait, like I've always said, and if you don't have any fresh bait you caught somewhere else, you got to go to the place where you're going to fish, catch bait, whatever you got to do. So that's what I'm doing, catching the bait. So I got my little bass rig, little 4-inch curly tail grub here, and I'm going to start throwing out. Current's going pretty good. We just had a bunch of rain, so I'm going to get started. Hopefully in the next 20-30 minutes I'll have a couple baits. We'll see how it goes. The water looks really nice, so should be a good start. Let's get fishing. So most often when people are skipjack fishing, they think they got to be by the dam, swift current. Not always the case. They're all up and down the Tennessee River. So if you can get some good 50-60 foot casts, 80 footers, whatever, get your bait out there. A lot of these fish, they're kind of open water fish. They school also, so if you can get a bite, chances are you'll get another one right after. They tend to go in schools, so they're pretty good. Once you get a hit, you're probably going to get another one really fast. Another thing out here, the water is a little brown, which is going to be awesome for catfish fishing. It's a little tougher for the skipjack, but they can see these baits just fine. It's not a problem. It's just catching them. And right out here in front of me, you can see a break, like where the current's coming out. You can see the rough water, and then in between me and that's the smooth water. So it's going to create somewhat of a small little eddy current right in here, and a lot of big fish are going to sit up here in this current. They're lazy, they don't want to move, so they're going to let the bait come to them. Bait's going to come out, drift around here, and it's going to be great for an awesome setup when I get my catfish on there. So I'm going to get on my bait. As soon as I get hooked up here, I'm going to throw out and I'll show you what I do there. Oh, fish right in front of me. Okay, so like I was saying, there's an eddy current out here, and right behind me where I'm going to be throwing out, it kind of looks like real calm. I can see the current coming, and then it's just going to slowly drift into like a little pool lake kind of area right behind me. I'm going to catch straight behind me, let it sit, and wait for a bite. Should get a bite, not pretty quick, shouldn't take too long I don't think. On the last hour and a half of sunlight, so should work. Toss out. Right there. Let it sink to the bottom. All right. Now I just pull my line tight and set it up, and I'm good to go. I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. On this one I got a live liner, so it's kind of like 2 drags in one. Really awesome reel out here for this. So, line's tight. Alright, line's good. Set up the other. So I got my other one. Got the fish head on this one. I tripled the bait up. So that one's out. I'll probably tighten the line on it too. And I just go up from underneath and then right up through the nose. So just like that. I've hooked them in other spots, it works, but having it hooked through the nose seems to work the best. Especially if you're in currents or anything, it's just going to drift really smooth and nice. This one, I'll do the same thing. I think I'm going to go further downstream with this one though. I'll probably get picked up with this one first on a fish. So that one's not too deep, feels a little bit shallower than the other one. I think there's a a little washboard out here. Set my bait clicker on, line tight. And that's it. And let's tighten the other one, I'll be good to go. All right, fishing. So I caught that skipjack, I changed it up. This is my butter knife. It's just basically a heavy casting spoon of metal. Just a metal spoon, treble hook. Works awesome. Put these on a swivel so I can change lures out real fast because I had some hard times catching bait in between. So just gotta change your lures, you know, see what the fish like. And catfish are pretty easy, they like skipjack. So if you can get skipjack, you know, use that for your bait here in the Tennessee River. Works great. Catch tons of huge fish on these things. But what I want to talk a little about also is, so like I was saying, there's an eddy current behind me, which kind of is a good indicator you're going to have a lot of big fish hanging out in that little hole. But another way to tell, because that's not always the case, so another good way to tell you're in a good spot, like if you've never been to a bank or not, you can always just fish it. You know, if there's bait in the water, chances are there's big fish. But if you're not sure, just looking at the bank, a good indicator is clams. Clam beds out here all along the Tennessee River, tons of them out here. And the way you're gonna tell is you're just gonna see clams everywhere. So they're just these little clams here, you know, nothing special. You're gonna see a lot of these. They'll sit in the mud, the soot, and all that kind of stuff. A lot of these are dead, so you'll see them washed up on the bank here. There are some further out. It's a little bit different mud under the sediment and everything. So if you know where there's clam beds, that's a really good hot spot for catching a lot of big fish. You're gonna have the clams there, a lot of little stuff there, the little fish feeding on the little stuff, then bigger fish feeding on the little fish, so forth. Food chain, right? So that's a really good indicator to help you identify a good beach or bank or something to fish on just by looking at it. So that's kind of a really helpful thing, I think, if you're trolling up and down the river looking for a good spot and you're just not sure whether to fish it or not. So it's kind of a great giveaway. You know, here's all the dead clams. That's what I was talking about. You know, there's little cone types. Got some bigger ones here. Some mussels out here, mussel beds all along here as well. So, if these are things you see along the shoreline and the bank, you know, it's going to be a very good indicator right there. You know, it's probably going to be a pretty decent spot.